Have you ever found yourself trying to help someone, giving your all, but feeling that your goodwill makes no difference at all? You try hard, dedicate yourself, but end up exhausted and frustrated, not understanding why? Buddhist philosophy offers a fascinating perspective on why this happens. Buddha teaches us that compassion without discernment is like trying to rescue someone who's drowning while you're tied to a rock yourself. To avoid wearing yourself out in vain, let's explore the 9 types of people who may not deserve your effort and energy, and how to recognize these patterns based on Buddhist teachings. Let's begin with an intriguing story. Imagine Joe, a generous farmer who finds a frozen snake during a harsh winter. Feeling sorry for it, he takes the snake near the fire to warm it up and help it recover. Once warmed, the snake bites Joe, leaving him on the brink of death. When Joe, struggling, asks the snake why it did this, the snake replies indifferently, "You knew what I was when you picked me up." This story is a powerful metaphor illustrating that some people, like the snake, have a nature that doesn't change, no matter how much you try to help them. In this video, we will discuss the 9 types of people you might want to avoid helping and how to identify these patterns based on Buddhist teachings. The first type is the self-destructive. These people are like black holes of negativity and poor choices. Even when you offer the best support and advice, they continue engaging in harmful behaviors that keep them stuck in a cycle of suffering. Imagine a friend who constantly makes disastrous decisions, despite your best efforts to help. They may engage in harmful habits or ignore advice that could improve their situation. In Buddhism, self-destruction often stems from a lack of self-awareness. When someone cannot recognize their own mistakes, it's hard for them to change. Helping such people without allowing them to see their own flaws can prevent them from learning and growing. By offering help to someone who continues to self-destruct, you may end up enabling their harmful behavior, like giving money to an addicted friend. Instead of helping, you're allowing them to continue harmful habits without facing reality. To find a healthy balance, it's important to set boundaries. Offer support in ways that encourage self-awareness and responsibility, instead of rescuing these people from all the consequences of their actions. For example, rather than simply giving money to an addicted friend, offer emotional support and encourage them to seek professional help. This way, you help promote positive steps toward recovery without enabling harmful behaviors. Additionally, when dealing with self-destructive people, it's vital to take care of yourself. Constantly helping someone who refuses to change can be emotionally draining. Practicing self-care is essential to ensure you have the energy and mental clarity to support others effectively. In Buddhism, maintaining inner peace is crucial. We can only offer genuine help to others when we are balanced and centered. By understanding self-destructive behavior and setting healthy boundaries, we can provide meaningful support without enabling harmful patterns. The next type of person we should address is the blame shifter. These individuals are masters at avoiding responsibility, always finding someone or something to blame for their problems. They never take ownership of their actions and may blame coworkers, friends, family, or even circumstances beyond their control. Imagine a coworker who never admits their mistakes and always finds a way to shift the blame onto others. No matter how much support and guidance you offer, they never seem to learn from their errors. In Buddhism, personal responsibility is fundamental. Buddhism teaches us to be aware of our actions and the consequences they bring. Blame shifters, however, lack this self-awareness. They avoid looking inward and acknowledging their role in their problems, which prevents them from growing and learning from their experiences. When we try to help blame shifters, we often end up reinforcing their behavior. For example, if you constantly defend a friend who blames others for their problems, you might end up validating their misplaced blame. This prevents them from facing the truth and taking responsibility for their actions. It's important to recognize when our help is not fostering growth, but rather enabling harmful patterns. To deal effectively with blame shifters, we need to set clear boundaries and encourage personal responsibility. For instance, if a friend blames everyone around them for their work problems, instead of agreeing with their perspective, guide them to reflect on how their own actions might be contributing to the situation. Encourage them to consider changes they can make to improve their situation. When dealing with blame shifters, it's also essential to protect our own well-being. Supporting someone who never takes responsibility can be draining and frustrating. Practicing self-care is crucial to ensure we maintain our inner peace and energy. In Buddhism, maintaining our own balance is essential to offering genuine help to others. By understanding blame shifters and setting healthy boundaries, we can provide meaningful support that promotes personal responsibility, helping the individual in need while preserving our own well-being. The third type of person to be cautious of is the energy drainer. These individuals are like emotional vampires who drain our energy and leave us feeling exhausted. Recognizing this behavior is essential for protecting our own well-being. Energy drainers are people who constantly demand our time and attention without giving anything in return. They might always need support, vent about their problems, or demand attention without considering our own needs. Imagine a friend who always calls to vent about their difficulties, but never asks how you're doing. No matter how much you listen and offer advice, they always have more problems to share, leaving you feeling drained and tired. In Buddhism, balance is key. Buddhism teaches us to maintain our inner peace and energy. Energy drainers, however, disturb this balance, taking more than they give and leaving us feeling empty. When we try to help energy drainers, we often end up feeling exhausted and undervalued. For example, if you spend hours listening to a friend's problems, but they never accept your advice or show gratitude, you might feel used and worn out. This one-sided exchange can be detrimental to our mental and emotional health. It's crucial to recognize when our help is not being appreciated or reciprocated. To manage energy drainers effectively, we need to set clear boundaries. Offering support should not cost us our own well-being. For instance, if a friend always calls to vent, set a limit on the time you spend in these conversations and encourage them to seek other sources of support. Practicing self-care and protecting our own energy is essential. In Buddhism, maintaining internal balance is vital for offering genuine help to others. By dealing with energy drainers and setting healthy boundaries, we can provide meaningful support without sacrificing our own well-being. This not only helps the individual in need, but also preserves our inner peace and emotional health. The fourth type of person to avoid is the ungrateful. These individuals never seem to recognize or appreciate the efforts we make for them. Understanding this behavior is crucial for knowing when not to invest more energy. Ungrateful people are those who receive help or support but never express gratitude or recognition. They might take advantage of our kindness without ever showing appreciation. Imagine a situation where you dedicate time and resources to help a friend move into a new home. After all the effort, they never say a simple thank you and don't even acknowledge what you've done. In Buddhism, gratitude is an essential part of well-being practice. Ungratefulness, on the other hand, contradicts the idea of appreciation and reciprocity. Ungrateful people can take advantage of others' kindness without giving anything in return, which can be emotionally draining. When we help ungrateful people, we often end up feeling devalued and frustrated. For instance, if you continuously assist someone but never receive acknowledgement or thanks, you might feel used and disrespected. This lack of appreciation can undermine our motivation to help and affect our perception of the value of our actions. It's crucial to set boundaries and protect our self-esteem. To deal effectively with ungrateful people, we need to safeguard our self-worth and set clear expectations. Offering help should come from a place of generosity, but that doesn't mean we should accept a lack of gratitude. For example, when helping a friend in a difficult situation, it's important to recognize that gratitude should be a natural aspect of the interaction. By setting boundaries and protecting our dignity, we can continue offering help from a place of balance and mutual respect. In Buddhism, the practice of gratitude and respect is essential for maintaining inner peace and offering genuine help. By understanding ungrateful people and establishing healthy limits, we can provide meaningful support while preserving our self-esteem and well-being. The fifth type of person to consider is the manipulator. These people use cunning and deceit to achieve their goals, often at our expense. Recognizing this behavior is essential to avoid being exploited. Manipulators are experts at using others to reach their own objectives. They may act charmingly to gain our trust, only to exploit our kindness for their benefit. Imagine someone who constantly asks for favors and makes promises of repayment, but never follows through, using their manipulative skills to benefit themselves. In Buddhism, honesty and integrity are highly valued. Manipulators, however, often act dishonestly to achieve their goals, harming others in the process. This behavior can be emotionally draining and harmful to our own balance. When we try to help manipulators, we often end up being used for their own purposes. For example, if you constantly fulfill the requests of someone who never keeps their promises, you might feel exploited and disrespected. This behavior can erode our trust and create a cycle of frustration. To deal with manipulators effectively, we need to be aware of their tactics and set clear boundaries. For example, if someone continually asks for favors without reciprocity, set limits on what you're willing to do and clearly communicate your expectations. Protecting our integrity and avoiding being manipulated is crucial. In Buddhism, the practice of honesty and discernment is essential to maintain balance and inner peace. By understanding manipulators and setting healthy boundaries, we can offer meaningful support without allowing our kindness to be exploited. The sixth type of person to avoid is the chronic pessimist. These individuals have a constant view of negativity and despair, which can affect our own well-being. Recognizing this behavior is crucial for maintaining our own emotional balance. Chronic pessimists see the negative side of every situation and can drag others into their dark outlook. Even when we offer help or solutions, they often reject our offers and continue to focus on the negative. Imagine a coworker who constantly complains about everything and never sees the positive side, even when you try to offer words of encouragement. In Buddhism, the practice of positive thinking and acceptance is crucial for achieving inner peace. Chronic pessimists, however, remain trapped in a negative outlook that can be emotionally draining for those around them. When we try to help chronic pessimists, we often end up feeling frustrated and demotivated. For example, if you constantly try to lift the spirits of someone who only sees the negative side, you might end up feeling exhausted and discouraged. This behavior can drain our own energy and positivity. To deal with chronic pessimists effectively, it's important to set limits and protect our own energy. Offering support should include encouraging a change in perspective, but also recognizing when it's necessary to maintain distance to preserve our well-being. In Buddhism, cultivating a positive mind and an open heart is essential for offering genuine help. By dealing with chronic pessimists and setting boundaries, we can provide meaningful support while maintaining our own inner peace and positive energy. The seventh type of person to consider is the selfish individual. These people are focused solely on themselves and have no regard for others. Recognizing this behavior is crucial to avoid expending energy on those who are not willing to give anything in return. Selfish individuals are so focused on their own needs and desires that they fail to recognize or value the needs of others. Imagine someone who always asks for favors, but is never willing to help when you need something. In Buddhism, the practice of generosity and altruism is highly valued. Selfish people, however, prioritize their own interests at the expense of others, which can be emotionally draining for those trying to help them. When we try to help selfish individuals, we often end up feeling that our efforts are in vain. For example, if you continuously support someone who never reciprocates or acknowledges your needs, you might feel devalued and frustrated. This behavior can undermine our motivation to help and affect our perception of our own generosity. To deal effectively with selfish people, we need to set clear boundaries and expect reciprocity. Offering help should come from a place of generosity, but that doesn't mean we should accept selfish behavior without question. For example, when helping a selfish friend, it's important to communicate your expectations and protect your own well-being. In Buddhism, the practice of generosity and balance is essential for offering genuine help. By understanding selfish people and setting boundaries, we can offer meaningful support while preserving our own dignity and energy. The eighth type of person to avoid is the constant critic. These individuals are never satisfied and are always ready to criticize, no matter what you do. Recognizing this behavior is crucial to avoid draining our energy with unfair criticism. Constant critics are individuals who never acknowledge the effort or goodwill of others, only pointing out flaws and defects. Imagine someone who constantly criticizes your actions and never recognizes your efforts, no matter how hard you try to please them. In Buddhism, the practice of acceptance and non-criticism is essential for maintaining inner peace and harmony. Constant critics, however, disrupt this balance by creating an environment of discontent and judgment. When we try to help constant critics, we often end up feeling devalued and discouraged. For example, if you invest time and effort to help someone but receive only criticism in return, you might feel demotivated and frustrated. This behavior can erode our confidence and affect our perception of our own value. To deal with constant critics effectively, we need to set boundaries and protect our self-esteem. Offering help should include the ability to accept constructive criticism, but also recognize when criticism becomes harmful. For example, when dealing with someone who constantly criticizes, set limits on the type of feedback you're willing to accept and clearly communicate your expectations. In Buddhism, the practice of acceptance and balance is essential for maintaining inner peace and offering genuine help. By understanding constant critics and setting healthy boundaries, we can provide meaningful support while protecting our self-esteem and well-being. Finally, the ninth type of person to avoid is the dishonest individual. These people deceive and manipulate others for personal gain. Recognizing this behavior is essential to protect our integrity and avoid being exploited. Dishonest people are individuals who frequently lie, deceive, or manipulate others to achieve their own goals. Imagine someone who lies about their intentions or manipulates situations to get what they want, without regard for the consequences for others. In Buddhism, honesty and integrity are fundamental for living an ethical and balanced life. Dishonest individuals, however, violate these principles, undermining trust and mutual respect. When we try to help dishonest individuals, we often end up being deceived or manipulated. For example, if you offer support to someone who lies about their intentions, you might end up being exploited and disrespected. This behavior can erode our trust and affect our perception of integrity. To deal with dishonest individuals effectively, we need to be alert to signs of dishonesty and protect our own integrity. Offering help should include discernment and the ability to recognize when someone is being dishonest. For example, when dealing with someone who demonstrates dishonest behavior, set clear boundaries and maintain integrity in your interactions. In Buddhism, the practice of honesty and discernment is essential for offering genuine help and preserving our own integrity. By understanding dishonest individuals and setting limits, we can provide meaningful support while protecting our trust and values. These are the 9 types of people that, according to Buddhist wisdom, may not deserve your effort and energy. By recognizing these patterns and setting healthy boundaries, you can offer meaningful support and protect your own well-being. In Buddhism, balance and self-awareness are fundamental to living a harmonious and generous life. By applying these teachings, you can cultivate healthier relationships and offer help more effectively. Remember, Buddhist wisdom guides us to help others with an open heart, but also with discernment. By balancing compassion and boundaries, you not only protect your own well-being, but also foster a more positive and balanced environment for everyone around you. If you enjoyed this video and found value in the lessons discussed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to not miss our upcoming content. Share this video with friends and family who might benefit from these insights, and leave a comment below about your experiences or thoughts. Your participation is crucial for us to continue bringing more valuable insights and practices. Until the next video, where we will continue exploring Buddhist wisdom and how it can transform our lives for the better.